Countdown.
Tahniah. Siaran langsung ini dibawakan khas kepada anda oleh Akademi YouTuber Malaysia. Sebuah inisiatif e-didik Malaysia dan Kelab Guru Malaysia. Tumpukan perhatian anda. Siaran langsung akan bermula sebentar lagi. Link sijil akan diberikan di hujung siaran ini. Pastikan diisi dalam tempoh yang ditetapkan. Terima kasih.
Hai, apa khabar semua? Salam sejahtera dan selamat datang ke Pusat Tuisyen AYU. Sebuah pusat tuisyen percuma yang pertama di Malaysia. Bermula percuma, selama-lamanya percuma. Saya adalah Cikgu Yi yang berperanan sebagai moderator untuk sesi live hari ini. Subjek kelas tuisyen hari ini adalah Perakaunan yang akan disampaikan oleh Cikgu Yati. Jadi, marilah kita melihat siapa ahli-ahli dalam konti kita hari ini. Presenter kita adalah Cikgu Yati. Diikuti dengan host controller kita, Madam Fizi.
Hai.
Dan pemerhati kita adalah Cikgu Lee. Sebelum kita mulakan sesi pelajaran hari ini, Cikgu ingin mengingatkan para peserta tentang beberapa perkara yang anda perlu ambil perhatian. Sila gunakan gambar profil yang bersesuaian dan tutur bahasa yang sopan di ruangan chat. Dan sila on kamera dan mic jikalau anda dipilih untuk naik ke ruang studio bersama dengan presenter. Dan tumpukan perhatian terhadap presenter hanya menggunakan ruangan chat untuk menjawab soalan atau jika ada soalan yang ingin ditujukan kepada presenter. Pada akhir siaran ini, link e-sijil akan diberikan dan anda hanya mempunyai 30 minit sahaja untuk mengisikan maklumat anda. Sila pastikan bahawa nama dan email yang anda gunakan adalah betul. Peserta boleh menggunakan email e-didik ataupun MURID 5 untuk mengisikan maklumat anda. Pastikan maklumat adalah betul kerana tiada pembetulan akan dibenarkan kemudian. Akademik YouTuber juga akan memberi kredit AYU kepada pelajar-pelajar yang mengikuti kelas secara live. Jadi mata kredit akan dikumpulkan dan boleh ditukarkan dengan hadiah yang menarik. Cikgu akan umumkan 4 mata dijik dari semasa ke semasa di sepanjang kelas ini. Jadi diharap pelajar-pelajar tumpukan perhatian ya. Baiklah, anda akan isikan rekod kredit yang akan diberikan pada penghujung kelas ini. Sekarang saya akan memperkenalkan presenter kita hari ini dengan lebih mendalam. Nama penuh beliau adalah Cikgu Yati Nohayati binti Ismail. Beliau mengajar di Kolej Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan. Mata pelajaran yang diajar oleh Cikgu Yati adalah Perakaunan. Pengalaman mengajar beliau adalah selama 27 tahun. Dan hari ini, Cikgu Yati akan berkongsi dengan kita tajuk Perakaunan yang bertajuk Accounting Cycle. Jadi tanpa membuangkan masa lagi, saya serahkan kelas kita kepada Cikgu Yati. Dipersilakan.
Okay, thank you, Missy. Okay, thank you, Missy, as the moderator tonight. And also thank you to Madam Fizi as host controller and Miss Lee. Okay, tonight, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Nohayati binti Ismail and I'm teaching in College Matrikulasi Negeri Sembilan. My teaching experience is about 27 years with matriculation. And don't forget to visit my channel, Cikgu Yati channel. Okay, this is my teammate, Perakaunan dan Ekonomi Pra-University and Matriculation. So this is the combination of matriculation and STPM. And this group is led by Madam Fizi. And this is the mathematics team and led by teacher Im. And this is the biology pro-U team led by Cikgu Faiza. And this is chemistry pro-U. This is the collaboration, STPM and matriculation. And the leader is Cikgu Shahnun. And this is physics team. And the leader is Cikgu Rosmaya. And don't forget to visit Academy YouTuber So today I would like to discuss about topic 3 AA015 SEMS 1 or semester 1, and the title is accounting cycle.
Cikgu Yati,
Okay.
Cikgu Yati, sebelum Cikgu teruskan, boleh tak saya umumkan mata kredit yang pertama kepada peserta-peserta ya?
Okay, boleh.
Okey, mata kredit yang pertama hari ini adalah huruf A3. Cikgu ulang, A3. Okay, thank you Cikgu Yati.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is the content or the syllabus or the objective learning from topic 3, accounting cycle. So the first one, step in the accounting cycle. Accounting cycle in terms of Malay ialah perkitaran perakaunan. And the second one, types of source document. Document, sumber-sumber document. Process. The fourth one, posting to general ledger. The number 5, preparation of trial balance ataupun imbangan juga in terms of Malay. And the last one, preparation of financial statement for merchandising and services entities. Financial statement ialah penyata keuangan. So this is the term that you should know for topic 3. Okay, this is the cycle or the steps in the accounting cycle. So the first one, we have to make an analysis for the transaction. So from the transaction, you must identify the category of assets, liabilities, and also owner's equity. Or we can use document source. And after that, we have to record all the transaction in the first book. That one we pertama. All the transaction we have to record in the first book. That means journal record. And the third step, we have to post all the details from journal to the ledger. Maybe subsidiary ledger, or you can post to general ledger. The next one, we have to prepare the trial balance. We have to balance the debit side and the credit side in terms of amount, the total amount. The next step, we have to make an adjustment. For this part, we will discuss more detail in topic 5. Adjustment at the end of the accounting period. Adjustment in terms of Malay ialah pelarasan pada tarikh akhir perakaunan. Okay, the next step, we have to prepare the adjusted trial balance. Imbangan duga terselaras. So yang ada basic, they will know this term. Income and statement of financial position, or in terms of Malay, penyata pendapatan dan penyata kedudukan keuangan. And at the end of the period or the accounting period, we have to prepare closing entries in the journal entry. And the last step, we have to post closing trial balance. So you must remember there are 9 steps in the accounting cycle. Okay, you can see how it will go from transaction analysis, and at the end of the accounting period ialah post-closing trial balance. Okay, first one, when we want to make an analysis of transaction, we need source document. Source document adalah dokumen-dokumen perniagaan. That is an evidence. Okay, this is the definition of source document. A source of document is a basic material or evidence used for recording purpose. So let's say that if there is a transaction incurred, we must have the business document or source document. All the information we record in the bookkeeping should come from a source document. So we need source document as an evidence. The next one, business document used as a proof. Sama juga evidence, and every transaction we must issue document for evidence. The last one, it relates to objectivity concept. Do you still remember topic 2, accounting concept, about objectivity concept? There is an accounting standard where every company, when they make a document sources. Okay, there are 10 types of source document under matriculation. So the first one, invoice. Invoice pun nama dia in terms of Malay pun invoice. Delivery note ataupun nota penghantaran. Debit note in terms of Malay ialah nota debit. Credit note, nota kredit. Purchase order, borang pesanan. Receipt, receipt lah. Payment voucher, voucher pembayaran. Check stub. Okey, check stub ni ialah keratan cek. Kadang-kadang dipanggil check box. Boleh. Bank slip is the bank slip is the slip that produced by bank, and bank statement, penyata bank. So this is the 10 types of source document that you should know the function of the document. Okay, the first one, it is issued by the seller to the buyer. So it depends on the company. If you are the seller, you must issue invoice to the customer. So what is the function for invoice? So the function of invoice is to record credit transaction. Credit transaction in terms of Malay ialah credit, hutang. Whether purchase on credit or sales on credit. Okay, let's say that if you are the seller, so that means you have to keep one copy of invoice. And if you are the buyer, so you will be given by the seller one original invoice. So you can see from the document, there is the title for invoice. So what is the function for invoice? To record credit transaction, either credit sales or delivery note. What is the function of delivery note? So issued by the seller, issued that means produced by the seller to the buyer, and delivered good together. This note or this document will be delivered with the goods or merchandise. So dia mesti attach this document when you want to deliver the merchandise. Merchandise or good is the same meaning. Okay, the second one, to inform the goods or the merchandise item delivered to the buyer. So the buyer must get one document, that one we call delivery note. What is the function for delivery note? This is in order to check is there any misrecord, or there is a missing the number of quantity of the product atau quantity of goods or merchandise. Okay, the next one, it is used as a reference to check the delivery item. Delivery item, that means the quantity of the merchandise and the price, the cost of the merchandise. Okay, now we look at the next document, debit note, or in terms of Malay, nota debit. So what is the function for debit note? Okay, look at the function. Okay, this one, it is issued by the seller to the buyer. What is the main reason the seller give debit notes to the buyer? It is to inform that the buyer or the customer that his account has been debited in the seller's book of account. That means debited to, it increased want to increase the debt of the customer, they must issue debit note. Okay, so one copy will be kept by the seller and the original tu maknanya yang original ya, document, the original document will give to the buyer or the customer, and the copy of the document will be kept by the seller. So the term yang kita guna is credit sale and credit purchase ya, to increase the debt. Okay, now we go on to the next document, credit note, ataupun in terms of Malay, nota credit. So you can see the name of the business, the name of the customer, and this is the return of goods damage. Okay, it is issued by the seller to the buyer. Inform the buyer that his account has been credited in the seller's book of account. It means that it will reduce the debt of the buyer or the customer. Why you want to reduce the debt of the buyer? Because the customer had returned the damaged goods to the company. So the company will reduce the amount of debt of the customer. So credit notes normally we will use for sales return and purchase return. If you are the seller, so you will keep the copy of the document and record as sales return. But if you are the customer, so we will get the original from the supplier, and that transaction we call purchase return. Purchase return maknanya pulangan belian. Customer and there is a damaged goods, so the customer will return the damaged good to you. So you have to issue the credit notes. Okay, the next one is purchase order. Purchase order in terms of Malay lah, borang pesanan. Okay, it is issued by the buyer to the seller. So the buyer will give the list of order, so the details of goods purchased, the quantity and the price. So the document is used to record the order from customer. Okay, this is the sample for purchase order, the name of the customer, and this is the list, and this is the name of the seller, and this is the list of order, and it contains the number, the reference number, the details of also the price. The next one, the document that is very important in the business transaction or in the economic activities. That one we call receipt. This is the common document that the company will use. It is issued by the seller when receive payment from the buyer. So it means that this is the evidence, the payment or the cash receipt being made. So it is to inform the details of receipts and payment that have been made. So this is the example for receipt. the name of the buyer, and this is the name of the seller. So with the amount. Okay, a copy of receipt or a copy of a document, it will record as cash receipt. Document, and it will record as cash payment. So this is the very common document being used in the business. The next one, payment voucher, or in terms of Malay, we call voucher pembayaran. Okay. It is to record any kind of payment made by the business. So any kind of payment. Normally they will pay for salaries, expenses, or they want to pay for utilities expenses. Normally they will pay for any expenses. Okay. So it is the business internal document, and there is the detail of the name of the employee. Normally, biasanya employee, they will receive the salaries. So they will record the salaries, expenses. Okay, business internal document, that means the business will issue payment voucher normally to the employees for the payment of salaries, expenses. Okay, the next one, check stub, or sometimes we call check bud. It's the same meaning. Okay, normally this is the check stub is attached to a check. So a check stub with a check is one book, but we have to keep the check stub. That is to inform that payment has been made by check by the business. So this is the detail of the payment when you use check for activities, transaction, transaction business. We are using check. So we have to keep check stub for a reference. Okay.
Cikgu Yati, there is a question from a student. He asked, Madam, may I ask a question? I am in an accounting period. Every document or transaction made must follow by its sequences by date or record it randomly.
Okay. Normally, when you want to record the transaction, we have to follow by date. For example, if you want to record in the journal, let's say that you want to record in the journal, we have to follow the transaction based on the economic activities. So that means, let's say that you want to record for the month of December, we must start with the 1st of December, 3rd, and at the end of December, we have to close the account. Hopefully that I have answered your question. Okay, now we continue with this document, check stub. So this is a reference for the company when they make a payment using check. Okay.
Madam
Yes.
Yati, saya akan umumkan mata kredit yang kedua untuk kelas hari ini ya.
Alright.
Okay. Nombor kredit yang kedua untuk kelas hari ini adalah nombor 4. Sekali lagi, nombor 4. Okay, thank you, Cikgu Yati.
Okay, thanks, Cikgu Yi. Okay, kita continue with the next document, bank slip. Okay, this document produced by the bank. Okay, to inform deposit maknanya simpanan or withdraw money made by bank customer. Withdraw tu makna pengeluaran. So there are two types of bank slip. The first one, deposit, and the second one, withdraw form. Okay. Okay, this is the example. I show you the example is a deposit slip that contain the account number and the amount of being deposit. So deposit tu simpanan. In terms of Malay, kita panggil simpanan. But in terms of bank, we call deposit. Okay, this is the bank statement. Okay, the bank statement is produced by the bank. What is the function for bank statement? It shows the details of bank accounts transaction that made by the company. So the transaction, it means payment that made by check or received check from the customer. So all the details about the transaction that the business made, they will get the bank statement at the end of the month. So you can see that the bank statement, they have the column for debit, credit, and also the balance column. Okay. Business activities. Okay, let's say that the business activities, it means that the company will give either service, perform the service, or they want to sell the merchandise. So if they perform the service, we call business activity ialah service. But if they want to sell the merchandise, we call merchandising. So this is the activities. Okay, business that provides services. Services ialah perkhidmatan lah. So for example, accounting service, transportation, pengangkutan, education, pendidikan. That one we call services. And in terms of merchandising, business that sells product, goods or merchandise. So you can see from hypermarket, they will purchase the merchandise and they will resell the merchandise to the customer, purchase from the merchandise to the customer. That one we call merchandising. Barang dagangan, ya, barang niaga atau barang dagangan. Okay, the next one, we just focus for the merchandising business transaction. So bila sebut je merchandising business transaction, there is a business economic event. Business economic event, that means the transaction, or in terms of account, we call business transaction. So the business transaction or business economic event, the terms kita guna is purchases, belian, sales, jualan, returns and allowance, pulangan dan allowance, transportation cost, pengangkutan, and the discount, potongan. Discount ialah potongan. Okay, this is the term that you are going to use when you sell merchandise or you want to purchase. Okay, look at the purchases. Okay, the purchases, there are two types of purchases. The first one, okay, first you must know what is the meaning of purchases. Purchases is the purchases of merchandise for resale. So that means the business will purchase the merchandise from the supplier in order to resell to the customer. So there are two types of purchases. The first one, cash purchases. So in terms of Malay ialah belian tunai. So when I said cash purchases, there is a transaction. So that means purchase made on cash. Apa double entry system? Okay, we have learned double entry system in topic 2. So debit purchases and credit cash. The next one, credit purchases, or in terms of Malay, merchandise on account from supplier. We purchase from supplier on account, hutang. So purchases made on account and the supplier allowed to pay at a later date. So that means we will pay in the future. So this is the double entry system. What is the double entry system? Debit purchases, credit account payable. So why you have to debit purchases? Because that one is part of expenses, operating expenses. It will increase in expenses. And then you have to credit account payable because account payable represent for liabilities. It will increase the liabilities. So every transaction, it will represent double entry system. So you still remember double entry system to at least two accounts.
Cikgu Yati? Cikgu Yati?
Yeah.
Ya, boleh tak kita rehat sebentar untuk memberikan laluan kepada iklan AYU?
Okay, no problem.
Pelajar
Alah, apa ni? PKPB lagi. SPM pula ditangguhkan. Jenuhlah nak bayar yuran tuition. Pernah dengar tentang tuition percuma? Kami di Akademi YouTuber menyediakan tuition online secara percuma kepada anda semua. Ada prasekolah, sekolah rendah, sekolah menengah, STPM, juga untuk matrikulasi. Percuma je. Jom layari laman sesawang www.academyyoutuber.com.
Selamat kembali semula ke kelas kita. Marilah kita teruskan dengan kelas bersama-sama dengan Cikgu Yati. Dipersilakan Cikgu Yati.
Okay, thank you, Cikgu Yi. So I just continue about purchases. There are two types of purchases, the cash purchases and credit purchases. So just now I have explained about purchases. Now we continue with the next term that relate to merchandise. Okay, sales, there are two types of sales atau activities of sale. Okay, what's the meaning of sales? Sales refer to the revenues earned when a company sells its goods or merchandise. So there are two activities about sale. The first one, cash sale. So in terms of Malay, jualan tunai. So that one is one transaction. So we have to debit cash because it will increase the asset and this one relate to topic 2, accounting equation and double entry system. And the next one, credit sale. Credit sale maknanya hutang, jualan secara kredit. Okay, sales made on account or on credit. Sales where the customer is allowed to pay at a later date. It means that the customer will pay in the future with the credit term. There is a credit term, yeah? So the double entry system, debit, account receivable, and credit sale. Account receivable, it increase the asset, and credit sale, it will increase the revenue. So you have to follow the rules of double entry system. The next one, returns and allowance. So there are two types of return and allowance. So this one, we normally, the transaction will relate to credit notes document. Okay, just now I just explained to you sales on credit and purchase on credit. Normally we are using the invoice document, but for return we are using credit note, the source of document. Okay, purchase return is a contra to purchase account, and purchase return where it means where ataupun the merchandise that were returned to the seller. Or we are the company, we return the merchandise that you purchase because of the damage to the supplier. So what is the double entry system? So this is a transaction, yeah? Normally, one transaction you must record at least two accounts, or we call it purchase return. And purchase allowance, the changes price are made due to the quality, quantity as wrong size. Ini kalau wrong size atau defective part, kita record as purchase allowance. And for the second one, sales return, and you have to record contra to sales or revenue. We have to record, so that means we have to deduct from sales revenue. And what is the meaning of sales return? The merchandise that returned by a customer because of the damage or faulty. So what is the double entry system? Debit sales return. And this is an expenses, or it contra to sales revenue, and credit account receivable. Kenapa credit account receivable? Of account receivable ataupun decrease in asset. We have learned about accounting equation. And this is the sales allowance. When price changes are made due to the quality, quantity, goods as wrong size, defective part. Normally, we just focus sales return and purchase return. Okay, now kita tengok transportation cost. Freight in, freight out. Freight in, angkutan masuk in terms of Malay, and freight out, angkutan keluar. So, the shipping cost to be paid by the buyer of merchandise purchase when the terms are FOB shipping point, free on board. Ataupun the buyer, they have to pay the transportation cost because they purchase the merchandise. Of cost of goods sold. So kita kena record dekat mana? The cost of goods sold. If you remember the statement of income, sales less cost of goods sold. So we have to record under cost of goods sold in order to get purchase cost. Okay, the freight out, we must record under operating expenses. Sale less cost of goods sold, you will get gross profit. And then from gross profit, you must deduct operating expenses, and then you get net profit. That one relate to statement of income. Okay, the next one, discount. Okay, there are two types of discount. Trade discount, discount niaga. In terms of Malay, we call discount niaga. And another one is cash discount. Discount to sale. The first one, trade discount. Discount niaga, dia offer kenapa? For bulk buying. Bulk buying maknanya kita beli dalam kuantiti yang banyak. So when you purchase the merchandise in bulk, so you will get trade discount. Tapi for trade discount, no need, we don't have to record in the bookkeeping, or no record needed because the invoice show list price less trade discount. So that means the cost dia dah deduct for trade discount. So we should not record trade discount in the bookkeeping. And another one ialah cash discount. Cash discount kita panggil discount tunai. Okay, this one is very important, cash discount, because we have to record in the bookkeeping. Okay, this is the example for trade discount. If you get discount, you just record the because kita record in the invoice. Okay. So yang penting is cash discount because we have to record in the journal, especially for cash receipt journal and cash payment journal. Okay, this is the discount where if you look at that one, it will encourage to pay invoice, or in terms of other way, cash discount obtained after payment made within discount period. So that means if you are the business sold goods to the customer, and you there is the credit term where the customer should be paid within 10 days. So if the customer paid within 10 days, we have to give discount to the customer because they have made payment within the credit, yeah. So discount calculation start from the date of invoice. So what is the meaning of the date of invoice? The date of invoice ialah the date of the transaction. So transaction tu apa? Transaction is the urus niaga, economic event, the business activities. So you must calculate the discount from the date of invoice or the date of transaction. So this is the credit term, and you must know what is the meaning for two. Two represent for discount. That is the discount that you must give to the customer, or that is the discount that you get from supplier. And
Cikgu Yati,
yeah,
saya akan umumkan mata digit yang ketiga sekarang ya.
okay.
Okey. Mata digit yang ketiga untuk hari ini adalah 6. Adalah nombor 6. Okey, thank you Cikgu Yati.
Okay, so kita continue with the term. Credit term ialah terma kredit lah. Credit term is the agreement between the seller and the buyer, the business with the customer or the business with the supplier. So 2 represent for discount percentage, 10 represent for period, the number of days, and 30, that is the last payment that the customer should pay to the business, or that is the last payment where the business should pay to the supplier. Okay, so you can record as sales discount when you are the seller, you sell ataupun you sell the merchandise to the customer, or you have to record purchase discount where you purchase merchandise from the term for 2/10 and /30. And you want to calculate based on the date of invoice, start from the date of transaction. Okay, this is the calculation for cash discount. Discount tunai. Discount tunai tu apa? You have to calculate discount because you as the business paid to the supplier within the period, the accounting period that the agreement that have been made between the business and the supplier. Okay, let's say this is the agreement, 2%, and we have to pay within 10 days, or we have to receive cash from customer within 10 days. Okay, example, purchase merchandise on credit from supplier and the amount is 1,500 with the term 2%/10 days and /30 days. So we make a payment within 10 days. So this is the calculation. The invoice or the purchases, the amount is 1,500 less purchase discount, 2% from 1,500, and this one we call purchase discount. And you got net total, and sometimes we call net purchase, belian bersih. So this is the amount that you have to pay to the supplier, 1,470, and 30 RN30, that one we call purchase discount. That one is the revenue to us, to the company, or purchase discount contra to purchasers. Okay, but if the payment made more than 10 days, so there is no discount, but you still have to pay within 30 days. So you can see the difference 2/10, 2% slash. How to calculate the net purchase? Net purchase maknanya belian bersih. Okay, there are two types of cash discount. Not two type, tapi two event. You have to record the transaction, whether that one is sales discount. So this is the double entry system. Debit sales discount, credit account receivable. But if there is purchase discount, we purchase from supplier. So you have to record debit account payable and credit purchase discount. So this is the standard record for purchase discount and sales discount. Okay, so finish already for that part. So we continue with journal records. Okay, this is the next step. The first step, we have to analyze the transaction. After analyze the transaction, we must record in the first book entry. That one we call journal records. Refer to the journal as the book of original entry, or that one we call the first book. Since the entries are the first recorded in a journal, so that one is the first book that you have to use when there is a transaction. Okay, transaction recorded in chronological order. Chronological order, that means urutan. In terms of Malay, kita panggil urutan. Urutan maknanya daripada tarikh awal sehinggalah tarikh akhir. That one chronological. Tertib, orang kata kan. So from the journal entries, it will post to the general ledger in terms of account. Yeah. So in the general ledger, there are all the accounts that involve in the transaction. Okay, the journal can be classified into two main categories. Special journals, ataupun in terms of Malay kita panggil. So what is the purpose of journalizing process? So what is the journal? Journal is the first book that you have to record from transaction. So to complete the effect of a transaction. So as you know, transaction will represent double entry system. So all the double entry system we must record in the journal. Provide a chronological record of transaction. Chronological, that means in order. We have to record the dates in order. Help to prevent or locate error. If there is an error, we can easily to detect the error. Okay, the next one, special journal. So there are 4 types of special journal. Sales journal. Okay, you must know the function for sales journal to record sales of merchandise on account. Customer on credit. So we have to record in the sales journal. Purchase journal, we have to record the purchases on account from supplier. So we have to record the transaction under purchase journal. The third one, any cash or check receipt. So bila nampak je check receipt or cash receipt from the transaction, we must record under cash receipt journal. Bahasa Melayunya cash receipt journal ialah journal penerimaan tunai. Ini journal jualan, journal belian. And the last one ialah journal pembayaran tunai. That one in terms of Malay for Form 4, Form 5 student kan. Dia belajar in Malay. So this one to record all the payment made by cash or check. So apa-apa payment that from the transaction you must record in cash payment journal. Okay, sales journal. Sales on merchandise on credit from the business to the customer. So when you want to sell the merchandise to the customer on credit, we must record in the sales journal. Okay, the customer agree to pay in the future based on the credit term. The agreement based on credit term. Dia ada perjanjian between the business and the customer. That one we call credit term. Terma kredit, terma hutang. Terma hutang lah in terms of Malay. And normally we use invoice is a source document when there is credit sales or sales on credit. Okay. Okay, this is the format for sales journal. You can see there are 4 columns and you have to write down the title. There are the second one, account debited. This one represents the name of customers. This is the third column, the term, and the last one is the amount where it shows account receivable, debit, and credit sale. So you have to write down the list of customers that you make a sale on credit in the sales journal. So this is the example. You can see sold merchandise on account to Seri Enterprise RM 10,500 with term or with credit term 2%/10 days and /30 days. So you have to record with the date. So the transaction, this one is the complete transaction because it has the date, the item, and the amount. So you just record the date and the item relate is Seri Enterprise. This is the customer's name and this is the credit term and this is the amount. At the end of the month, for account receivable debit side and sales account credit side in the general ledger. So we will learn about general ledger in next time. Okay, this is purchase journal to record the purchase of merchandise on account credit. Okay, and the business and supplier agree for the payment to be paid at the future. So when you purchase the merchandise from supplier, there is the term, credit term that you have to pay within the certain period. Okay, normally we are using invoice for source document. So you must remember invoice is a source document when there is credit sales or credit purchases. And this is the format for purchase journal. The format is terms, purchase, debit, credit, account payable. So this is the format. You have to follow the format. And this is the transaction. You can see the transaction, the date, and the item. Perniagaan berjaya ni adalah the list of supplier. And this is the amount. So we have to record the name of the supplier. For this transaction, we have only one supplier. So you just record the date, the name of supplier, and the amount. At the end of the month, we have to close the account. So the amount 24,000 represent for purchases and account payable in the general ledger. The next one, cash receipt journal. Okay, you see, it's still the same meaning, cash receipt or check receipt. We are using receipt document sources. Okay, this is example for cash receipt journal. There are 5 columns. Because we receive check and we receive cash, so cash debit and sales discount. So you look at the transaction, receive check 3,000 from Seri Enterprise for merchandise sold on credit. So we receive from customer. So we just record the date and the account creditor represent for account receivable and the amount is 3,000. At the end of the month, we have to close the journal and you have to total for bank. And this amount we have to record in the general ledger. The next one,
Cikgu
Cash,
Yati,
yeah.
boleh tak saya umumkan masa kredit yang terakhir untuk kelas hari ini ya?
Okay.
Ya. Jadi pelajar-pelajar ambil perhatian, nombor yang terakhir untuk kelas hari ini adalah nombor 9. Cikgu ulang, nombor 9. Okay, thank you Cikgu Yati.
Okay. Check being paid or cash being paid. And we are using the source document cash receipt. Either for payment or for receipt, sama ya. So this is the example for cash payment journal, sama like cash receipt, but the account debited represent for the account that you have to pay. And bank credit, cash credit, and discount, purchase discount. Credit, purchase discount like revenue lah. So this is the transaction. Paid office rent with the amount 1,500 by check. So you have to record the date, and this is the account debited and bank credited. At the end of the month, we have to total the amount for bank because we have to record this into the general ledger. We have to post to the general ledger with the total amount for bank. Okay, the last one, general ledger. Okay, this one is the journal that the list for general journal. Okay, if you look at that one, asset investment in the business. For example, you brought in vehicle into the business, so we must use the general journal. Okay, drawing of goods, we withdraw goods from the business, so we are recording the double entry system, debit drawing, credit purchases. Sales of fixed asset on credit, kita record dekat general journal. Because we cannot record in the sales journal, tak boleh. Sale tak boleh. Purchases journal, you cannot record. You cannot record under cash payment and cash receipt journal. So you have to record under general journal. Purchase of fixed asset pun sama, we have to record under general journal. Sales return, purchase return, and adjustment entry. Sales return, okay, this one semua ni represent for double entry system. You can saya ambil the last one kan. Purchase return, that mean you must record debit account, payable, credit, purchase return. That is a transaction, yeah. So from that transaction, there are at least 2 account involved. Okay. Okay, that one closing entry at the end of the accounting period. So this is the format for general journal. The first column, the date. The second column, the details of the account, and debit side, credit side. And you have to record the explanation or narration. So look at the first transaction. 1st of January, purchase RM 7,000 of office equipment on credit. So we have to record debit office equipment 7,000 and credit syarikat OP 7,000. So it represents the double entry system. So that's all for tonight. The first one. So I hope that all of you, all the students, can you get ready with my pop quiz. You have to answer the question and you can write down your answer in the comment or in the chat. So the first question, the first step in the recording process is to A. Prepare financial statement. B. Analyze each transaction for its effect on the accounts. C. Post to a journal. D. Prepare a trial balance. So the first step, there are 9 steps. Can you remember? So what is the first step in the accounting cycle? So any of student give the answer, Cikgu Yi? So all the students, can you give the answer now?
Okey, setakat ini belum ada maklum balas lagi. So pelajar-pelajar sila jawab dan type dalam ruangan chat. Dipersilakan.
Just follow the step of accounting cycle. There are 9
Yeah,
steps.
we have the answer from Harish. Answer is B.
Okay, Haris, the answer B.
Angeline, answer is B. We
Okay,
have Aishi, answer is B. Amira, answer is B.
okay,
Rima, answer is B.
okay.
Chun
That's
Chun Yi, answer is B. Many
okay.
answer B
Answer, yeah.
answer.
Okay, most of the students give the correct answer. So the answer is B. Yes, that is the first step. We have to make an analyze the transaction. So that is correct, B. So you can clap your hand, kan? Congratulations to all the students. Okay, the second question, question 2, the usual sequence tu that mean the order ataupun chronological step in the choose the correct answer. A, from journal to analyze to ledger. B, from analyze the transaction journal, ledger. C, from journal to ledger and analyze. D, ledger, journal and analyze. So any student give the answer for question 2, our moderator, Cikgu Yi. So very easy.
Kita sedang tunggu jawapan lagi. Jadi diminta pelajar-pelajar typekan jawapan.
Sequence tu maknanya the step. We start from the beginning of the process until the last step. So ada 9 step. So the first step tu apa? The second step apa? The third step apa? So you must choose the correct step.
Okay, we have the answer from Alpha Hira. Answer is boy, B.
Okay.
Shakira, boy. Answer is B also. Nashwa, answer is B.
Okay.
Nashla, answer is B.
Okay.
No, Amira, answer is B. Most of the answer are B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, betul. Congratulations to all the students that give the correct answer. Yes, the answer is B. We must start with analyze and then we must record in the journal and post to the ledger. The next question, banyak pula question. We have only 5 questions, yeah? I give you only 5 questions. Okay, when the business purchase merchandise on credit, which document is used to record the transaction? So we must use which document to record purchase merchandise on credit. So any student give the answer, you can try to give the answer now. Okay, very easy. You must choose the correct document to record purchase merchandise.
We are still waiting for the answer.
Okay, any of you, I give you 20 seconds.
Yeah, we have the answer. Hafiz, answer is D.
D, donkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Atin, answer is D. Aishi, answer is D.
Okay. Betul lah
No,
tu.
Amira, answer is D.
Yes, that is correct. Congrats to all of
answer
you.
is D.
Yes, congrats to all of you. So the answer is invoice. Invoice is the document to record purchase on credit. The next one, so this is the answer D, donkey. The next one, question number 4, when the business return goods because of damage, which document is used to record the transaction? A, bank statement. Invoice. So which document to tell that the return goods is being recorded in the bookkeeping? Okay, mana satu dokumen kita nak refer? Okay, any student give the answer? Belum.
We are still waiting for the answer.
So
We
senang
have
je this one.
Shakira, answer is C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ini okay,
Naswa,
only
we have answer C. 2 students answer C.
okay, good.
Aishi also answer C.
Alright. Yes. Congrats to the student that give the answer C, credit note.
Harish answer C.
Yes, that is correct. Okay. The last question. Ada lagi. This is the last question. When the business purchase merchandise on credit, the transaction must record in question. B. General journal. C. Purchases journal. And the last one, cash receipt journal. So, can you give me the answer? Very easy one. Ni saya bagi yang senang, yang terakhir ni. Okay.
Okay, we are waiting for the answer. Putri Maishara, answer is C.
Okay.
Ayuni,
Purchases
answer is
journal.
C.
Okay, purchases journal.
And we
Okay.
have Aishi, answer is C.
Alright, that is correct. So congrats to all the
Pong
students.
Kui Hong, answer is C.
Yes,
Amir,
that is
answer
correct.
is C. Yeah.
Okay, so the correct answer is C, purchases journal. So congrats to the student that give the correct answer. So that's all from me today. Thank you. Okay, kita balik kepada Cikgu.
Ya, terima kasih diucapkan kepada Cikgu Yati atas perkongsian beliau yang sangat bersahaja dan juga menarik ini, dan nampaknya ramai pelajar memang memahami apa yang disampaikan oleh Cikgu Yati. Tahniah diucapkan kepada semua yang setia bersama kelas pada malam ini dari awal sampai ke saat ini. Jadi untuk makluman semua, link sijil boleh didapati pada ruangan chat. Sila beri perhatian, link tersebut akan tamat dalam tempoh 30 minit selepas sesi live ini. Jadi pastikan anda menggunakan email yang betul kerana kesalahan memasukkan email tidak akan dilayan. Jadi sebagai tanda penghargaan kepada Cikgu Yati, marilah kita sama-sama like, subscribe dan juga share channel presenter kita malam ini, Cikgu Yati. Jadi, juga terima kasih diucapkan kepada sokongan ahli-ahli konti dalam kumpulan kita malam ini. Jadi pelajar-pelajar ingat bahawa pada setiap minggu hari Rabu 9:30 malam kita adakan kelas live ini. Sila layani www.academicyoutuber.com untuk mendapatkan info terkini dan jadual kelas tuition percuma. Jangan lupa sharekan kelas online percuma ini kepada rakan-rakan dan guru-guru di seluruh Malaysia. Juga diingatkan bahawa semua kelas online percuma ini boleh ditonton semula melalui link yang disediakan di portal AYU. Semoga kita mendapat manfaat daripada kelas-kelas yang dijalankan. Jadi sekian sahaja untuk malam ini. Terima kasih dan selamat malam kepada semua. Bye-bye.
Wow, banyaknya hadiah menarik menanti anda.
Wah, kini Akademi YouTuber mengambil inisiatif baru di mana memberikan hadiah-hadiah ini secara percuma. Ya, percuma kepada anda semua. Bagaimana caranya? Dengan mengikuti kelas tuition online percuma Akademi YouTuber sambil mengutip mata kredit, anda dapat menukarkannya dengan hadiah-hadiah yang menarik ini. Tunggu apa lagi? Segalanya percuma.
Jangan lepaskan peluang tau. Dah dapat banyak hadiah menarik, takkan nak lepaskan peluang.
Layari www.academyyoutuber.com sekarang untuk maklumat lanjut.
Dibawakan kepada anda oleh Akademi YouTuber.
Habis lega.